Okay, we're rolling. All right, welcome once again. Look at this Shlicketty DooCast. You sons of bitches, welcome once again to the Shlicketty DooCast. I'm your host, Aaron Forsyth. Been here. We're on a second day. Hey, look who's here in the square. Mike Anderson.
Wow, there I am, like a 90s music video with sunglasses and a goatee. Where's my flannel?
Insurrection glasses.
Right?
Yeah, he's kind of like Max Headroom, but if Dirty Laundry was Max Headroom.
Fresh from the QAnon meeting?
Right. I know. Well, if that was the case, I could have gave you the Orb of Truth, but the Orb of Truth is out of jizz today. Orb of Truth, so we're going to charge up the Orb of Truth. She lasted 12 episodes, though, which is pretty good. Pretty good on one charge.
On one charge, yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
So, Orb of Truth, we'll be back next week, but we can put it there for now.
Yeah. Actually, I cover the Orb of Truth, so as long as I'm on screen, I don't see it.
Oh, yeah, the glow of it's in the corner there.
Which brings to mind, here's this.
Okay.
Should we do the podcast to where I'm not on screen unless I'm talking?
Well, that would be the case when we do a guest. But you might as well be there now, because I think it's kind of funny. I was looking at old eps, and I was trimming them and looking at things, and I noticed one you were taking a toke. One, sometimes you laugh, you do little things, or I might do something while you're talking. It's fine. I like it. I think if somebody's into it, they're going to watch it. They're going to go, okay, you guys are personalized. It's personalizing.
But I was thinking, like, if I wasn't on screen and then you, like, were telling a story or something like that, you could snip it and it's just you telling a story. Like, I don't need to be chiming in on your story. I don't need to be on the screen. So if you clipped it,
Yeah, but sometimes it's fun, like, even if you're like, I don't know, you took a toke or you took a sip like you're doing right now, sometimes it's kind of funny. It keeps it interesting because no one wants to see my mug the whole time. They need something to sidetrack.
That's what they're here for. They're here for you.
Well, not really. They're here for us. Who knows? Well, nobody's here at the moment.
I know, right?
I know. It's like an empty room. Okay, yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. You never know. So we're at episode 13. It's hotter than hell out. Once again, the Shlicketty DooCast, we don't do anything topical, so by the time we get this and go to print, this could be 4 months old. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah.
So,
we haven't determined yet when we're going to actually release this stuff into the wilds, and then once it's released, it's released. But right now, it's not.
Right, but we will keep it sequential, which is fine. Which, I guess I got a little mini update. So, last week, if you watched the last episode, I went on a tangent, went on a rant. I told you about Amazon Prime Day ended in holy shit, my plumber's here.
Fiasco at the house.
Fiasco on fiasco at the Hooscow.
Fiasco with no Tabasco.
It was pandemonium. Well, okay, when I was on the air and I was doing the thing, I was like, Tina's going to be home. She's going to be home. She's going to be mudding the wall. Well, guess what? I got home and she mudded the fucking wall. She rocks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You need a girl. Well, you got one, too. But anyone out there who has a girl or is looking for a girl, you need one who's a go-getter, an equal. Don't go these ones you got to open car doors for. Get a girl who's like a dude, who can really muscle up and sand a wall. She did it. She brought home the bacon more than I did. I added the pandemonium and helped, but she did it. So
without you, there's no exciting incident to kick off the story.
No, to her it's business. So I add the personality.
That's true.
In
Your
business.
girlfriend is uniquely highly skilled in fucking managing the chaos.
Yes. She keeps a calm head.
Yeah.
It's from being a nurse. She was a trauma nurse, so she knows how to not panic. She, like, if your hand got cut off right now, she would go, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Boom, 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 boom. She could massage a live beating heart.
Yeah, and I would need that, and that's why your girlfriend is my emergency contact.
Right, and I would be screaming, ah!
That is not a joke.
Yeah.
She is on record with several of my employers.
Yeah.
As my emergency contact.
That's good. Yeah. Or medical questions. She's a good one. She's the phone a friend with medical questions because she'll give it to you brass taxes. So that being said, she mudded the wall. The wall. We're back in action. All right. Then it's sanded. Then she got the old paint out and she painted the wall. So now,
Really?
Well, painted it, yes. Now I sanded it in between too, but the paint she did the next day. But I sanded a little bit too. Got the old. It's not perfect. It's not, I mean, if we're selling here, you're gonna have to remud it and really get it picture perfect. You could see a little bit of bubble action.
Why? From what? Were you just hand sanding?
Well, no, you have that little sandy. Once you spackle, you put the old spackle on, and you're all respackled.
Did you really use spackle?
Well, it's the mud. It starts pink and then it ends up white. Oh, okay. You know that stuff?
Yeah, the joint compound or whatever.
That's the word. So here we are. She's got all that goop on there. I sanded it down. She came back and painted it. Looks pretty good. We're pretty good. But here was the big question. I was asking this. I went through such PTSD. Do we want to rehang the swing arm?
Oh, okay. So do you go back to what the original plan was that got you here? Or do you say, you know what? We're back to where we started before this all started. Let's leave the sleeping dogs lie and leave the walls alone.
I had PTSD. I was like, I wanted to sleep on it for another day because I was like, I don't know. Should we we'll just put a ducky picture over it and call it a day? But no. She was like, no, we're doing this. We're going in. She's going in. And here we go. She had marked some little dots. She was ready to go. She was pre-planned. She knew exactly where the first hole was. So she went over to the...
Well, I mean, to be fair, she had plenty of time to get in there and measure it out and know exactly what's going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was even joking about the old, watch. Round two, it happens again. Water shooting out. Oh, could you imagine calling the plumber again for the same thing?
Well, okay, so we were going to mount this thing again?
Yeah.
Same thing happened. Can you believe it?
Well, yeah, no. So seriously,
Wow.
we did it. She hung it. I helped a little, but we were drilling these holes in, sons of bitches, right into the... And it's up. And I got to say, the swing arm looked good. And then we got this thing. So here, I sent you the picture. Post the picture right here of the finished product.
What, next to you? Not full screen?
Or you can go full screen, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do this in post. There we are. There's the picture of the finished iPod, or not iPod, Alexa Echo. This thing,
Mount.
Huh?
Mount.
Mounted.
Yeah.
It's got a swing arm. I could literally take this thing, like I could go, I could spin it all the way around 360. I could move it in. I could move it out. I could move it in, move it out. I could.
Well, and once again, because your girlfriend's a nurse, I see a lot of people in the medical field, they take those monitors and they put them this way.
Yes, and this one's, the arm is super awesome enough that you can do that. And there's no squeak, there's nothing. No resistance whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the way they like their monitors, to be able to, whether they have to read something or, if the x-ray or whatever.
And the tech involved, it'll do like your phone does. It automatically switches if you want it to.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll keep it horizontal.
On my iPad, I had to limit that sort of shit because it would have like an auto screen rotation. Man, it got out of control. I had to lock it.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it where I fucking set it unless you need to turn it sideways for a game.
I do that too because I got a memo pad for jokes. And when I go on stage, sometimes it'll switch the thing and you'll be like, yeah.
And then you try and straighten it out. It just keeps fucking
and then
turning.
you're fumphing your phone. You're on stage. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, here we go.
First
we got
world
the
problems.
Echo hooked up. The sound on it is pretty good. It's once again like a flat screen. You would think this is going to sound like shit. And then just the way it's against the wall and it bounces off the back wall, it has low end. It has clarity like you wouldn't believe. I'm like, geez, they're really getting this down. But then she goes in there. It's got a built-in Echo, Fire Stick kind of thing in there.
Sure.
So we've got, she can watch HBO. She's got the Pittsburgh Pirates channel. She's watching Pittsburgh Pirates game. I'm in there watching Dragons and Tits. She's got a timer going. There's all kind. It's it's great.
I just feel like you're coming to this party so fucking late. This is what I've been doing for like 15 years with my iPad.
Sure.
I'm telling you, dude. Bluetooth headphones. I got Bluetooth headphones in right now. I always have Bluetooth headphones in. They're always in. I fucking sleep with them in. They're always in during work, everything. Because My girlfriend doesn't like to hear the TV noise. Like, you and I grew up TV junkies.
I love the TV noise, even if it's
the
quiet.
TV noise to me is very comforting.
Yeah, I like it on, even if it has no sound. I like it being on. I like the
sometimes
aura
I do
of it
that.
on.
Sometimes I'll be doing shit on the computer or playing a video game, and I'll just put on in the background like eye candy shit, like Star Wars movies, Pixar, something like that.
Sure, I've done that.
Yeah, just visually like, ooh,
Yeah, even I've done it. Press mute.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. What was my fucking point here?
Oh, just the multimedia, 2 screens at once with things going on. You've been doing it for a while. I mean, I'm kind of new to it in the kitchen sense.
Oh, so like you were talking about the sound coming out of the Alexa
the sound, yeah.
Because it's just bouncing off the wall. It's bouncing around the space. Yeah. It's going to get lost. It gets lost in running water. It gets lost in crinkling of bags. It gets lost in lots of things in the kitchen. So I'm here to tell you, the Bluetooth headphones. Headphones. Because basically what you guys are doing, I do with my iPad all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got these little stands that fold flat, and then you fold them out. It's a little A stand.
I've got those. Yeah.
We got them all over the house.
Yeah.
It works for cell phones, iPads, everything. In the kitchen, like I got like a charging station, a place I put the iPad.
Sure.
So, like you say, like for us being TV junkies growing up, it is the most amazing fucking wireless future where we can have essentially perfect quality cable TV wirelessly. We can, remember back when we used to smoke cigarettes? Yeah. We could go outside and watch the movie while we're smoking. You know what I mean? It's like I can go to the kitchen.
It's like the long curly Q phone. It's like the phones with the curly Q cord.
Like the kids remember. Yeah, like the kitchen one with the 17-foot cord on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would get all wrapped up.
And you'd go into 3 rooms away. You're like, all right.
Man, it used to be a thing back in the day because if you're talking on the phone, and nobody else can call in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, oh god, it sucked. But just I love. I mean, even on my fucking phone, I've got it in my pocket too. Sometimes, like the other night, I fucking put on fucking Olympic boxing on my iPad while I was in the kitchen, fucking doing some dishes, making some food.
Right.
But that wasn't mentally engaging enough. So on my phone, I threw on some fucking. I'm rewatching The Sopranos, so I threw on an episode of Sopranos.
So you're watching an episode of Sopranos. You've got boxing, Olympic boxing,
and I'm in the kitchen, like cleaning up dishes, making some food.
Wow, multitask. That's triple. That's.
I'm usually always doing that. Like I'm usually a couple layers deep. Like.
Yeah, I can't do 2 shows like that at once. Well, I like to stay focused.
It depends. It depends. Because like a lot of the times, like when I'm doing stuff, like if I'm like editing video or stuff like that, I'll have like TV stuff going, but it's like stuff I've seen before. I've seen all the Sopranos several times. Even I'm doing an episode of Sopranos, an episode of the podcast with Sharippa and Imperioli, which I went through all those. So I don't have this thing where I feel like I need to pay attention to it, like I'm going to miss something.
Oh, I've already digested. Yeah, you've already done the pay attention run through.
Yeah, and it's like that with like going to bed at night with like movies. Like I got to throw on like movies that like Pixar movies,
That's good, but you don't find that overstimulating. I read before I go to bed.
Music.
I'm a reader.
People like to go to sleep to music. Music gets my brain all fired up. I start analyzing it, breaking it down, thinking about tone and It makes me nuts. But because the thing that I used to do is I used to fall asleep to the news. Because the people in the news would be blah, 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 like the overnight news. But when I was able to get cable in my bedroom at my parents' house growing up, fucking C-SPAN.
Oh, that's really dry and slow. And
it's really dry and slow, man. They're like, rah, 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 rah. I am out quick,
I used to do that. It's funny. I used to turn on BBC because something about a British accent makes me tired.
It's calming.
It is.
It's calming and reassuring.
Yeah. The British accent makes me out like
it's
2 seconds.
I love being over there. Wait, say this again, dude. We should go to England. It is fucking fun.
I know. I can't even wrap my head around going to Orlando. Now I got to talk about England? Jesus.
But come on, Grandpa. Seriously, you don't even have your fucking passport.
No, I don't have a passport. You're right.
So you don't even. I just renewed mine last year. So
That I got to do, yeah, because I do want to go back to Canada. I have relatives in Canada, and plus, Canada is cool. But you're right, I do.
Canada's cool. Where at in Canada?
Kitchener. I have relatives in Kitchener.
Right across the fucking lake.
Yeah, Kitchener.
London, Kitchener, Ontario area.
I have a couple cousins there, and they're pretty cool. And I want to know in case if the cult, the MAGA cult takes over, and I got to scoot. I'm like, I got Kitchener.
I would like to go over there and hang out. I've never really been other than just the Niagara Falls when I was like 10.
No, it's I was there a couple times when I was a teenager, and it's other than the weird kilometer thing and and then they have like
the weird kilometer thing, little metric system.
Yeah, that's kind of strange, but everything's pretty much the same. It just I felt like I could have been in Wisconsin. Well, at least they drive. I felt like Wisconsin. They even have Wisconsin accents, like, "Oh, how you doing?"
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Lake Tahoe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd like to. I would definitely like to sort of check that out. Just the normal, regular, everyday, touristy sort of.
Yeah, they were very kind of rural. It was like Erie.
I would still like to check out Toronto as well. I mean, that's like the big
like
major city. Yeah, I mean, Canadian New York City. Like, I don't know. To me, as like a dumb white guy from the north, that sounds fun.
True, but
I'd like to see it.
I almost feel like Toronto is like. That feels like, even like New York City, but New York City feels like, right, no one can hurt me here. But in Toronto, I feel like I'm like in the eye of the vortex, that I could be trafficked into Taiwan. I'm out of here. Somebody's going to fucking throw me in the back of a limo, and I'm out of there and like kidnapped. You know, what? I've seen too many spy movies.
Really?
I get paranoid.
Overwhelming for you?
I get paranoid. Huge Toronto seems to me. It seems like, whoa.
Dude, I tell you what.
It seems more international.
Dude, Toronto seems like easy and relaxing compared to like the Sao Paulo airport.
Really? I've never been to Toronto, so I don't know. Have you been to the Toronto airport?
No, I'm talking about in Brazil.
Oh, Brazil.
You should go to Brazil where you don't even speak the language and shit. And Sao Paulo is one of the largest cities on the fucking planet. We flew out of there once at night. You can see the lights. Wait, I got sunglasses. You can't see my eyes rolling, but it is huge.
Yeah. And it's funny, like, because I've flown enough places to see things from a plane point of view. And some cities you go, if you were to fly over Erie, it wouldn't look like anything. Fly over Pittsburgh, there's a little something going on, some suburb action.
Right.
I always felt like you fly into Detroit, you go, whew, as far as the eye can see is lights, but it's not any, and then right off in the corner you see like a little tiny,
I imagine Atlanta's
there's the downtown.
Like Atlanta's probably like that too.
Yeah, it's just sprawl. As far as your eye can see, all the horizon line, and the horizon line has the city.
But then again, like Detroit is like in this place where it's like Detroit's right here, Toledo's right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's probably like 2, maybe 3 states all together.
Yeah, and maybe being in a plane, you're kind of low coming in, but it's just big. It just seems so huge.
Fucking coming in low, Jesus.
But I mean, like Philadelphia's kind of cool like that. I love flying though. I'm with you on flying though. And England. So you're now? When you go to England, are you in the double decker?
Yeah. Those are the buses, just rolling around the street.
I've only seen those on TV.
Dude, the greatest thing me and the girlfriend did one day. It was a Saturday. We went and we got a all-day underground subway tube pass. So all-day pass wherever the fuck you want to go. So we just fucking ran around fucking London, scoping out a few basic things like I wanted to see. So we went to the Tower of London.
Right.
Everybody knows the Tower of London. That's where when William the Conqueror fucking landed there, he fucking took over, he built a fort there.
Okay.
Later they rebuilt it in stone. This is where they used to imprison people like Queen Elizabeth and shit. This is where they have the ravens live there. And if the ravens ever leave, England will fall. This is where they got the beef eaters. It's the Tower of London, It's pretty dope, and it's right on the river and shit.
I have a question. Okay, so between their subway and their streets, you're walking on your tours. I know you're in the wow mode, but is it like New York City where like crazy people and homeless people are everywhere, or do they clean up their shit?
No. The first thing I noticed when I came up out of the two, so basically you fly into Heathrow. Heathrow's way the fuck west of London.
Yeah.
So you got to go from Heathrow, from the airport, you got to get on a shuttle to get on the underground. And then you ride like 45, 50 minutes into fucking London.
Wow.
So then once you get into London, you get off the tube, you come up out of the station to ground level. and you look around, man, and it's like every fucking movie you've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's
true. Like when you come
Mission
out of the subways in New
Impossible,
York
Mary
City, you're
Poppins,
like,
and yeah, dude, like
Or
the
Chicago.
because they have this really interesting mix of like the old buildings from like the 1800s, and then these new glass skyscrapers that twist and shit. You know what I mean?
wow.
Like, it's nuts. But all the people on the streets and stuff, like, everybody is busy and they're going places. It's like New York City in, like, Manhattan, like, probably lunchtimey sort of thing. Everybody looks like they've got places to go. They're, like, dressed business attire with, like, sneakers on sort of things.
Right.
You see that a lot.
So 10 o'clock at night's different from 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, 10 o'clock at night, it was fun. I enjoyed it because I could speak to people there. Like when we went down to Brazil, I couldn't speak.
Yeah,
Yeah, no foul
At least England, yeah, you're right. England, and do they like you as an American? Do they find you like interesting? Like
Yeah,
you
they
have the
love me.
accent now.
Yeah, they love me because at the time I was smoking cigarettes. Real quickly I was like running into people, they're bumming a light off me or they're bumming a cigarette or whatever, or I'm bumming a light off them, whatever the fuck. Because they take your lighter at the airport, so you come off the plane, you got no fire, and so you just like walk around with a cigarette in your mouth, going, "Do you have a lighter? Do you have a lighter?" And you find somebody, and they were all like, "Oh, you're American?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Where are you from?" We're like, "Arizona." And they're like, "Holy shit, that's like the desert." And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "That's so far from like what this is." And we're all like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
But at the time that we were there, the weather was great. So they kept saying that we brought the great weather with us. So yeah, the weather was pretty great.
So it wasn't pouring down rain and drizzly.
No, it was great. It was great the whole time. So the first week we were there, my girlfriend was at a conference. So we were over by Oxford.
Oxford, okay.
Yeah,
like university.
Yeah, not far from there. We were at this other university where she was doing this thing. But we took a day trip over to Oxford. Oxford's pretty dope. Like it's pretty old school. Like it's been there for like 1,000 years and shit. And so they have this like little swap meet fair sort of thing in this like little in between these buildings and stuff. And like people set up these little like those pop-up canopy tents.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, real interesting. And everywhere you look, it's just fucking history, man. History.
Yeah, because
like
everything around here
architecture,
is 250 years old. There, it's
most.
2,000.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. So, the sense of history is,
Because 2000 gets you back to the old, like, Roman days, Londinium and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Because I wanted to go around London and look out, because there used to be, when it was Londinium, it was a walled city. And so there were 7 gates. And so those were the old gates. There was like Aldgate, Ludgate, Northgate, Eastgate, all these sort of things. So most of the gates are all gone these days, but I think there's 2 left.
Wow.
Yeah, part of one got built into a wall.
Wow, are they still active wall or just kind of like...
And the other one that's actually still active is at the Tower of London. It is it's a water gate. It's for getting into the Tower of London on water. So that's like literally right through the front door. Back in the day. For those who are like,
How does your dog... Okay, so if you have $5 or $10 American, what does it equal to their money at the time?
I think at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, it was punishing at the time.
So we're not as valuable,
No, now we're good.
Now we're good.
Yeah, back then they were still in
What was your exchange rate if you had to round it off to the nearest whatever?
It felt like it was 3-1 against us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was fairly punishing in some ways.
Yeah.
It was kind
Because
of
they're
expensive.
probably just right out of that whole Brexit issue, right?
Their prices weren't too bad, but it was just the exchange rate that sucked so bad. It was against us. Like down in Brazil, it's in our favor, like 4-1, or something like that.
Yeah.
5-1. But over there, it was like, oh no, over there it was 2-1 against us. That's what it was.
2-1 against us. Okay.
So it was like, if a pack of cigarettes was $8, it was like $12 over there.
Not too bad.
But because I was
okay.
trying to get Marlboros, I got
And then you're talking big city prices, so you're like, all right.
Yeah, I bought.
Were Marlboros imports though?
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
It was expensive, man.
I heard like Budweisers are considered imports.
Yeah, but I didn't necessarily worry about that too much. I mean, they do like their warm beers.
Yeah, warm beer. Okay. All right.
But I was just drinking Foster's. But anyway. But the point is, dude.
We got to go to England.
we were just kicking around London, and one day we got the 2-pass, the all-day 2-pass. We went over, we hit the fucking Tower of London. We went over to 221B Baker Street, where that would be, as described in the book,
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Sherlock Holmes.
Right, Sherlock Holmes, yeah. Which 221 Baker Street doesn't actually exist, but
Or the song Baker Street.
yeah, there was a whole thing in the books where they described it one time, where he came back. Everybody thought he was dead, but he came back and he was like spying on his own place. And they described everything. Where they described everything actually exists.
Wow.
And so that's the spot where it is actually believed, because Arthur Conan Doyle was very familiar with London, but he went to school up in Edinburgh.
Oh.
And that's actually the next part of the story, because we were down in London ramming around, and that was a huge bit of fun. Then we went up to Edinburgh for a week.
That's castles and shit.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, all of it. Yeah. I mean, well, we went to a castle down in so when we were at that conference that first week, so we were at the conference the first week, then we spent like 2 days in London, then we went up to Scotland. So when we were at that conference, they had these like day trips. One of them, we went to a brewery. It was the Hook Norton Brewery. And it was like old. Like,
Did they charge you for this?
No. It was all in, because it was like an academic conference for like teachers and shit like that.
Yeah.
So they offered these like excursions during the day to do stuff.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, might as well have free.
Right. So that's what we figured. So the girlfriend's like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and I'm like, cool, that sounds fun, right? So we did the Hook Norton brewery tour and stuff like that. And one of them was going over to Oxford, a little day trip. And one of them we did on our own. We went to this castle that they have called, what the fuck was the name of it? Warwick Castle.
Okay.
Warwick Castle is actually 2 castles. They had 2 castles. They had like an old school, when you think of castles and dungeons and that sort of shit and drawbridges, they had that sort of castle. Then they had the newer castle that was based after like Palace of Versailles, the 1700s
like
sort of castle.
Abbey.
No, like a palace.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So they had both of them.
Wow.
And so you get to tour through them and you're on the grounds and shit. Oh, that was pretty fucking cool. That was really dope. We haven't even touched on all the museums and shit that are in London. Then there's all the shit outside of London. There's a place west of London where they shoot all those old Victorian shit. It's a whole Victorian town. It's a whole historical area called Iron Gorge Forge.
Wow.
They have a place called Bliss Hill Victorian Village.
Well, you were only there for a few days, right?
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. That's a good stay.
We were there a week doing the conference, 2 days in London, and then up in Edinburgh for a week. And that was during the fucking Fringe Festival.
Fringe?
Yeah. Dude, the Fringe Festival. You don't know about this?
Well, fill me in. Maybe.
Holy fuck. So, during the last couple of weeks, right around this time, last couple of weeks of July, first couple of weeks of August is the only time that the weather's nice in Scotland, so they have fucking festivals everywhere. There's a shit ton of festivals going on. The biggest one is the Fringe Festival.
Okay.
Which is like performance art. It's live performance stuff. Any place that can conceivably host a show in Edinburgh is fucking hosting a show. Let me give you a quick rundown of Edinburgh. Edinburgh proper is a big rock that juts up out of the land at an angle like this.
Okay.
About a mile long. And that is the Royal Mile. At the top of it is the church. At the bottom of it is Holyrood Palace, where the king and queen stay to this day.
Well, okay.
So all along that fucking whole high street are these like 3 and 4 story buildings. Edinburgh has been a college town for over 1,000 years. So it's these old fucking stone buildings that are like 4 or 5 stories high and shit, right? And there's little fucking pubs and shit everywhere. So during Fringe Festival, any place that can house some sort of performance is
It'd probably be like their equivalent of like South by Southwest or their equivalent of,
all of them on top of each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, I would be wearing cargo pants. These side pockets would be filled with handbills after 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
People just, come see my show, come see my show, come see my show. They've got everything going on from, they would do Whose Line Is It Anyway live. Stand-up comedians do stuff up there. performance groups do stuff up there.
Yeah.
Like
Everything from sword swallowers to jugglers to musicians, street musicians.
I've seen the
Comics?
fucking like the Shaolin monks going down the street. They're doing stuff. They got like a dragon and stuff. Like, and dude, I used to have footage of it, but I lost the hard drive. I lost all my footage.
Wow.
The streets were packed with people. It was.
Yeah, we gotta go during Fringe Fest. It sounds like, huh?
Dude, it is an experience.
Yeah.
And we were staying at like this Airbnb up on the north side, and so we would just grab a taxi, and he would fucking get us in there and drop us off, and then we'd fucking taxi out. It was only a couple of bucks. Or we'd take the bus.
Bus, yeah.
It was fine because shit was expensive.
I have no problem with the bus. I'm cool
No,
with the
because it's not that far.
bus. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's a bus. Who
Yeah,
cares?
and you
Buses
just
are cool.
look out the window, and there's just all these weird little shops and shit like that, you know? There's like,
We gotta go. Well, that's it. You sold me. We gotta go. Well, I gotta save my money. That ain't a cheap date.
it's not terribly expensive, but yeah. Save up like $2-3 fund money, and dude, let's go to fucking England. You and me and the girlfriends, let's fucking go over there. We'll hit Warwick Castle, dude. There's so much shit to see in London that I didn't even get to check out the gates of London. There's a restaurant. There's a fucking Charles Dickens themed restaurant right next to the Tower of London. I want to go drink there, have a meal. All the museums. I didn't even get to check out any of the museums in London.
Yeah, museums alone. But yeah, and that was 2 weeks, man. I couldn't imagine being gone 2 weeks though.
I would like to go check out Wales. Over there, people don't know this. The castles everybody talks about, they're all on the border between England and Wales because the stone castles weren't built until like the 1200s by this guy, Edward, Hammer of the Scots. He was beating down the Welsh as well. He beat down the Scots and then he went to subjugate the Welsh. So he built this fortification line of towers along the border between England and Wales. That's where a lot of the fucking cool castles and shit are. There's a bunch of castles to go look at. You know what I mean?
All right.
And then there's Scotland. Yeah.
Wow, we got a history lesson today.
Sorry, rambling. But.
Well, that's all right. Well, that's all right, because I rambled last time. A history lesson for all the listeners out there, that's kind of good. See, you learn stuff from Mike. Mike knows stuff. He knows.
I've been there.
He's seen it firsthand. I haven't. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've been on 3 different continents. I've been to Brazil twice, been to England once.
That's true. That's true.
My girlfriend's a world traveler. She's been all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to travel. I need to travel
She's been to
more.
Portugal, Sweden, India, fucking, yeah.
I know. I want to try. I know. I feel like I've traveled places, but I haven't really done much. It's like, it's airport to gig, airport to gig. It's not really.
It is like a really fun, like, adventure, especially like England, because we speak the language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I know enough of the history that's fucking, like, we can make this fun. Like, we can do ghost tours. Oh, there's so much shit all over the fucking place.
And let's not even include you're just going with Nerdist tourist stuff. Imagine if we went into nightlife. Let's go check out some music or check out,
there's that whole thing. It's fucking London.
I know.
Which, dude.
Like, I couldn't imagine if you lived in London, like, how do bands practice? Like, how do they carry their shit around? Like, if you're a metal band in London, you would have to rent a space. You couldn't have, like, an orange amp, a 412 cabinet. You couldn't be rolling down a 412.
Yeah, you do. Probably somewhere. Probably just like an industrial area.
Yeah, maybe practice out in the rurals.
Yeah. But, dude. When we were in London for those 2 days, we got an Airbnb. We were staying at this flat where college students stayed and shit like that. It was the weirdest fucking scenario, man. So we're in the basement of this flat, right? And so we're supposed to be staying in this room, and the girl shows us to the room, and it's got somebody's stuff all in it. But there's this other room right over here that's completely cleaned out, and like it's just waiting for somebody to come. And we're like, you sure we're not supposed to be over there? Like, she's like, no, that's this room. It's fine. I don't know if they double booked it and somebody was like double dipping on something, but we were only there for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
But there's something so fun just being plopped in the middle of London. It's like, all right, now what?
Now what? Yeah, it's almost like like a choose your own adventure.
100% choose your own adventure.
Live action choose your own adventure.
And it's like, okay, we're tired, we're hungry, been traveling all day. Let's go get something to eat before it gets too fucking late.
Yeah.
What do we want to do? Okay, so we went and found this fucking pizza restaurant. It was just Like the whole wall just was like overhead doors. It just opened up to like the street and stuff, and we were just like hanging out. Maybe it wasn't like that, but that's how I remember it in my mind. It might have just been all glass or whatever.
Imagine if you didn't have to come back. Like, imagine if you just plop down and then you go, okay, like, imagine if life was
and
like
they just
that.
get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I like it here, or I don't like it here. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And you kept doing that. I wonder what kind of world it would be, like if that would be a fun adventure. Just do it for 1 year.
Oh, yeah. But,
It
all really comes down to sort of like the people that you meet. Sort of thing.
That is true. And your comfortability, like even here, some neighborhoods are nice, some aren't. So it depends what time you arrive at that neighborhood. You know what I mean? And when, and some neighborhoods seem charming in August, but in July, or in November, it could be like.
Did I ever tell you about when we were in London? My girlfriend wanted to go see this stand-up comedy thing that was like free at some pub.
Oh, I remember you telling me about it. Yeah, and what happened? Did they not have the show?
We're going to find this place. We end up stumbling down the literal, actual Diagon Alley from the Harry Potter books. You don't know the Harry Potter books, but for people that know it, it was nuts. So like out here's the main street, like one of the fucking main streets in London. And then there's a row of buildings. Behind this row of buildings is this little walkway alley with another row of buildings, and they've got little windows fronting to this little walkway street. And you could see this must have been some place where there were like little like tailor shops and that sort of shit back like 300 years ago, but it hasn't been used since. And it was like, it had these old little bay windows with like you can tell old glass because old glass is made by hand and it's wavy.
Yeah, it's smoke. Yeah, it looks like yeah.
Yeah. So it's like old glass and these weird old little bay windows. And it's all like about like chest height, like you're just walking by. And this little street is like, it's only like 3 people wide,
Wow.
And it's like, and we're fucking half drunk already, you know what I mean? And it is the most surreal thing. And at the end of this street, and we're walking past, and like at the end of the street, and there's a whole big walkthrough right here. There's the main street right there. The buses, everything, all the people, the lights right there. 30 feet away, right there. There's this fucking weird little fucking, it's almost like the Weasley's house, the Burrow from the fucking Harry Potter shit. It's almost like this little ramshackle 3-story house. It almost looks like a frat house, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we go in and it's the fucking bar on the first floor. It's no bigger than this fucking room, you know what I mean? Filled with college students.
Crammed in, ass to elbow.
100%, because she asked about the comedy thing. They go, it's upstairs, but it's standing room only. It's at full occupancy. So if 2 people leave, you guys can go up. So we're like, all right, fuck it. We'll just drink downstairs. Dude,
I couldn't imagine British stand-up. I know.
It was just a fun night of sort of stumbling around, checking
If
shit
anyone
out.
out there is ever from England or something like that, oh man, you don't have to pay me that much. Just get me there. I want to do stand-up in there. I'm curious what the English would think of my stupid shtick.
To that point, when we were doing the Fringe Festival, we would just be like walking down the road, and so when we travel, like I don't deal with the money. I deal with the logistics to get us there. I'll pay for like cabs, baggage fees, that sort of shit. Once we get there, I don't deal with money. So we're just walking down the street, and she goes, "Hey, let's go get a drink." I'm like, "Let's drink." So we pop into some place. There's some stand-up comedian. There was this stand-up comedian guy. This one place that we popped into. It's just some random fucking pub, and it's like they have a bar, and then over here there's like this little room. So we see people sitting there in chairs. So we're like, "Oh, let's go see what's going on." So we just go sit down, having our drinks, waiting for shit to happen. Dude comes in, starts doing stand-up comedy. The stand-up comedy starts not doing well, so he starts doing crowd work.
Oh.
His idea of crowd work was just like asking some lady, like, what's in your bag? And she had a banana. And so he's like, are you going to eat the banana? So he ate her banana. It's like this merging of like stand-up comedy, just performance art.
Yeah.
So remember I said everybody, like my cargo shorts filled with handbills for everybody, like, come see my show, come see my show. This one guy one time, come see my show, come see my, and he's so earnest that he makes my girlfriend promise we're going to go see his show.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, fine. We'll go see his show. So we make it a point. We come out on the Monday night, 7:30, whatever, to go see the show. We go to the place to see the show. We're like, we can't even hardly find the place. And there's like this dark alley. And I'm like, maybe it's down this alley. We go down this alley. Sure enough, there's a side door. That's where we're going. There's a guy there, and he's like, oh, you're here for the thing. Great, I'll show you up. We go in this building. We go in the dark, up the stairs, across the thing, up other stairs, walk over here, smells like piss, down some stairs, across the thing, down over here. We end up in some little fucking theater space. The show starts. Me and my girlfriend are the only ones there.
Wow, after all that hammering he was doing to people.
Other than the guy's girlfriend was there in the front row. So there's 3 of us there in the audience. Me and my girlfriend.
You'd think for a busy city, at least you'd have a few stragglers. You might have like 10 people there. But
so he comes out. He's doing his show. I remember it was called shoegazing. If you're out there, fucking hit us up. I remember your shit. Because he comes out and he goes, wow, this is like severely disappointing. This might crush my soul. And we felt so bad for him. We're like, what was he doing? No, it's fine. He had written a whole performance piece based on like his life called shoegazing.
Oh.
So he's gonna do this like performance piece that's sort of like telling stories from his life and being like in a funny way, being comedic about it, right? So he's like, well, this is super awkward. He's like, I don't even know if I should even do the show. And me and the girlfriend, we're fucking half fucking lit.
I know, I would have been like, dude, let's just go have a beer. Let's go hang out. You should have asked him and his girlfriend to go have a beer. You would have got a better story.
Well, we were like, but he had prepared the whole thing.
Yeah,
and
true.
he wanted to do it in front because he wanted to get feedback on it. And so we're like, we're here, fuck it. Do the show, and we'll give you feedback on it, you know? It was very fucking interesting because we're like this close to him. And the funny thing is, me and her, sometimes we don't laugh. He would do shit that was funny, and we go, that's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's such a personal thing. To go ha 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 would be awkward. So you got to go.
It was, but the dude was so nice.
Like I do that to comics.
So
That's the old.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good joke. That was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. No, we were sitting there going,
that's pretty good.
Going like he would say something that was funny, and we go right. He's like, you guys are just going right like parrots or something. And we did end up going and have a couple drinks with him and his girlfriend afterwards. Yeah, afterwards, he's like, he just went and changed into regular clothes. He's like, all right, now that that's over. And we're like, we're going to get a drink. You guys want to go get a drink? And they're like, yeah, let's go get a drink. And then we just sat, we just bullshitted. And yeah, they're just nice people.
Yeah, I know. Those would be, I'm surprised you guys haven't talked to him again.
Dude, well.
You exchange emails?
At the time that we went there, it was an incredibly stressful time.
Yeah.
Immediately when we got back, we had to move out of the house that she had been living in for like 10 years. And
I
had to
remember
go
that,
fucking move into apartments and shit.
Yeah.
It was there was a lot. And that was also the time where ISIS started up.
ISIS?
Yeah, the Islamic State out there.
Well, yeah, but...
They were rolling through and like destroying historical or World Heritage sites. And,
really?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
In the Middle East. That was on the news every day.
What does that have to do with England and
When
Phoenix?
we were in England, that was on the news every day at that time. It was a very stressful time when we were there. I really was, like there was a lot going on in my head. And,
How are we doing on time? Wait, where are we at on time? We scrolled through England here.
Yeah.
I think we're doing all right. Well, that's all right. Keep going.
Yeah, but anyway.
Those are fascinating to people. See, that's where we could have had an England connection. That sounds like the guy that if you could get a hold of him and his girlfriend again.
Well, the guy that we
have a tour guide.
The guy that we Airbnb'd with, we go to this fucking apartment in Edinburgh that we Airbnb'd, right? We're renting a room, right? We get to the place, we go in, and I notice on the guy's little fucking desk behind the door, old school broadcasty David Letterman desk microphone and a little fucking 4-channel fucking mixer. And I'm like...
Okay. All right, what's he doing here? What's he making a podcast?
I'm like, what's up with all this? He's a radio guy.
Oh, so
he's on the radio.
Oh, he's an actual radio.
He's a well-known radio guy.
Wow.
Over there in Edinburgh.
A radio personality from Edinburgh. Yeah,
right.
That might be fun.
Right. So then it was like, so then I really felt at home, you know what I mean? But it's all very interesting because everything's all very small over there. Because everything's so expensive, everything's small and tight.
Small in scale.
All the places, like when we were in London, in that little fucking... that little student housing place, you know what I mean? Like they had like probably 8 people crammed into like, you know, what would have been like a
everyone I've met from outside the United States says, wow, you guys have so much space. You know, they're in admiration of how big things are. Mm-hmm. Like somebody from London would look at our studio here and go like, oh my God.
Well, there's that.
To us, we're like,
but
that's
also,
a closet.
The whole of England is the size of New England.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So the
that'd be
size
like-
of New England is their entire country.
Yeah.
So they have like 1/10 our population.
Yeah. And they're building on top of each other like a giant, like a Borg cube.
Yeah, but stuff also turns over quickly. Like I noticed, like even in bus stations or that sort of shit.
Sure.
They have like Dyson hand dryers and everything. Like everything's like all the bathrooms are like newly refurbished. It's not like there's like shitty fucking like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not
Especially
like you're
in London.
pounding rocks.
In London, like we went into, so we got in London at one train station and we had to catch a train at the other train station, and we're like, oh, they're right next to each other on the map. They are not.
Wow.
They're like a mile and a half apart. So we're schlepping from one train station to the other. All the gear. I got all the camera gear and shit.
Oh, yeah, you got a lot of stuff, yeah.
Holy shit. On the way, there's this little alleyway. One of the oldest bars in London. It's been operating since 1287. We're like, we got to stop in here for a drink.
Shit, yeah.
It's just like shit like that all over the place.
Yeah, that's the place where, like, do we steal the beer stein from here? Do you steal the mug?
It's just, no, because when you're there, you really feel the sense of history, and you're like, you really don't want to, like, offend these people or be like a dick or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't want to be
Dude, it was so much
American.
fun. It was so much fun. We gotta go. It's so much fun.
England eccentric episode today, folks.
Sorry, yeah.
That's all right.
Went off
That's
the
all
rails,
right.
but
A little bit, but that's all right. It's fun. We learned some. England, everybody. Let's do this. We should. Man, I know. I do want to go. I cringe at the money factor, but not to say.
But the
I
money's
couldn't
not
say
bad.
it.
Right now, it's almost 1-to-1.
Yeah, you mix that with
It's only
really
like
it's just
25
getting
cents
yourself in a
difference.
plane and getting there. Once you're there, it's no different than like, oh, we're in Philadelphia.
Dude, it's expensive, dude. When I came back here for fucking Hall's wedding, I spent $1,000 on a fucking stupid hotel room out there at that place that I was at off 26th Street.
Oh yeah, like,
Yeah, that's not a fancy place. It was $1,000 for the week.
for a week.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, you could have rented a whole apartment for that. Yeah.
Well, in Brazil, a whole week cost me $270.
See, exchange rates, folks.
Exchange rates, that's where it's at. But yeah, but dude, it was. There's so much fun stuff to go see. Oh my god.
We're gonna do it. We'll do it.
Let's do it for the podcast, man. We got cameras. We'll take it with us. We'll take the fucking lav mics and we'll take the GoPro with us.
That would be funny.
Because when me and the girlfriend went to Warwick Castle, she had one of my DSLRs, I had the other, and we were taking fucking like touristy pictures all up the yin yang.
Yeah.
And the hysterical thing is that I would take pictures like I was documenting the whole scene, so you could get the sense of like you were there,
Yeah.
or like I was taking like reference photos. You know what I mean?
Sure.
She would take these detail photos of like little detail stuff, the little ornamental thing there, the little thing over there. You know.
Oh, and you were going for the big postcard pictures.
It was interesting. So when you look at both of our
Yeah.
photos, it was like, you get a pretty good, it's kind of like, oh, there's the whole room. Oh, there's that detail thing.
Yeah.
It worked out.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, you tandem.
Yeah, it just sort of worked out that way. But we discovered that there. But, it was so much fun.
We got to do it. All right.
All right, I guess
Let's
should
wrap it. It's getting hot in here. See,
Yeah, it
the
is.
air conditioning, but we'll get it.
Never kicks on over here.
Anything else we got to tell the folks about? I don't know. I can't think offhand. I always think of things before we get here, and then when we leave, I don't.
I know. We get in the heat of the moment. Here, wait. Let me check my fucking. I got some notes real quick here. Let me
He's
check.
got notes.
Podcast bit ideas. No, we did that. No, we did that. All right, here's a quick one. I think Bill Burr is the heir apparent to Don Rickles. I think Bill
Ooh,
Burr.
I don't know about Don Rickles.
Don Rickles could make fun of people, taunt them to their faces, and say horrible things to them. But it was always sort of known that it's done with love. Nobody ever got mad at Rickles for talking shit.
Yeah.
I think the only person, because I was thinking there's nobody like that anymore. And I thought, Bill Burr. Bill Burr's known for talking shit. People will allow Bill Burr to talk shit, and they'll just laugh at it. And they'll go, that goddamn Bill Burr, he's so funny.
Yeah, he gets away with murder,
He
but
does.
but Rickles was silly. He had a schlocky goofiness.
I don't know, man. Have you seen any of the nightclubs? You saw the documentary, Mr. Warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those old nightclubs shit in the 60s when he was just like hammering some guy in the audience and stuff,
Oh yeah.
he was going off, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's joking. I mean, he says horrible things, and you don't hear it when it's a recording.
No.
But then I'm sure he says horrible things and then makes a funny face. He's like, whoa, or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a gesture that drives it home and makes people laugh.
Sure.
Because when you just listen to it, you're like, oh my God, he's just hammering this guy.
Yeah.
But
He's a little old school racist, but still funny up to his dying day, Hilarious.
But see, and like Bill Burr, not that he's like old school racist, but he can talk about race stuff from an authoritarian point of view. You know what I mean? He's there. His wife's black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
I just don't think Rickles is as poignant as Bill Burr is. Bill Burr could at least expunge on a point.
It's a different time and age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that was the thing back then. What was Rickles talking about? Nothing. He didn't talk about anything. He wasn't known for talking about anything.
Yeah, he was just accident. Yeah, he was just the guy who crashed a party kind of.
Yeah, if something happened, he'd talk about it. If not, he'd just fuck with some guy in the audience. He didn't, he didn't care. But Bill Burr, it's a different time.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Burr, I mean, he loves the sports and
Everyone
the drumming
loves
and the
incredible work,
helicopters. Did you ever see those videos on YouTube that he used to do where he was just driving around LA?
No, not that one.
Dude, they're hysterical. It's just him driving around LA.
He's great.
And he'll start yelling at people in traffic and they'll be like, what do I care? Like,
I feel like if you get yelled at by a guy in Boston, it's like, all right, I got to yell at by a guy in Boston. But if you did that, if that same guy was from South Dakota and if you're in the desert, it'd be like, oh, fuck you, we're going at it, dude. That's bullshit. But a Boston guy can yell at you and be like, you motherfucker, fuck your mother, get the fuck, and it's like, all right, you got me. Okay, you got me.
I suppose so. You kind of expect it.
Yeah, it's like that Brooklyn thing. It's that accent, it's that Boston accent. Boy, they can really give you a sonic punch. They can really slap it on us. They would hate me though. I'm almost terrified. I've never done comedy in Boston, and I'm almost semi-terrified about it, which I shouldn't divulge here. Because I'm a goofy guy. I'm silly and goofy. But yeah, boy, I could just see somebody ripping my asshole, heckling me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I don't get many hecklers, which is ironic because maybe I come across too intense on stage. I don't get heckled. I see some of my cohorts, my friends, they get heckled.
But also, I don't know. People may not know it, and people may not know it from stand-up comedy and shit, but your entire life, you spent just fucking with people and ripping on people.
Oh,
making fun of people. So,
yeah,
I don't know if people sense that or not, but
yeah. I was a one-man version of the Black Crows in Dumbo. I was the crow. Yeah, no, I know. And maybe it's that energy, and plus I come across pretty intense, so I don't really give a lot of room for somebody to get in there and go, hey, fuck you,
and also, once
asshole.
again, going back to from doing music for so long and that sort of shit. I mean, the stage presence, to demand their attention and focus when you're on stage, and not give them time to sit there and go, "What's this dude doing? Who's this?"
Yeah,
like they don't have time to talk because you're keeping them occupied.
And even in music, no one could overpower me because that's just the way it is. It's just you dominate. You come out, you go, all right, this is my stage, and
yeah. That's what we used to do in the metal band back in the day. Like, we're on stage, it was like our attitude was like, we're on stage and you're not, so you're gonna have to deal with it now.
Yes. And every now and then you might get somebody that goes, play some dinner, or yelling something, and you're just like, dude, you can just give them the old look and they'll disappear. They'll be gone. You give them the eye of the tiger.
All right.
We're out here. Shlicketty DooCast. Orbit Truth back in action next week. You've just had a little quest into Mike's vacation in England today, but that's all right. Let's do it. Let's go to England. Let's meet our friends.
Let's do it, man.
Let's go across the drink. Let's do it. And you don't have to get a language translator for that one. All you need is a little bit of alcohol and.
Because we could go deeper. I mean, if you
pocket.
want to, we could go to Portugal.
A lot of work there. Once we get into language differences, I get a little nervous.
My girlfriend speaks it fluently.
Huh?
My girlfriend speaks it fluently.
Yeah, but once again, though, I want to try that because I'm curious to see if I come across funny to somebody who doesn't speak the language, one, which I've entertained all the Arabic people down to the gas station all the time. They think I'm hilarious. They don't. I walk in, they're like, hey, hey, they're all laughing. They laugh at me, and I don't even say a word. But if it was going to be, you know, a different country, I want to see how it goes over. I really want to try.
I would definitely try England first, because dude, you could try England, Wales, and Scotland. The 3 different regions, all in the same area.
I would have to talk to a seasoned comedian. And there's a few I could call up and just ask them, like, all right, what kind of help me streamline this? Because what am I missing here? Because this is going to go over their head. Like, I can't be joking about like, oh, you know.
Write something up for Fringe Festival, man. Get yourself in Fringe Festival. We were there because somebody that my girlfriend knew was performing in it.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Wasn't on Baby Reindeer? Didn't he get into Fringe Festival? Was it Baby Reindeer? Remember?
I don't have the Netflix, so I did not see
you did
the
not
Baby
see
Reindeer at all.
Oh.
But yes, I do believe that takes place in Scotland, and if it's Edinburgh, yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about, there's a backstory where he was, Fringe Festival. He was all about, his big goal was to get the Fringe Festival.
I think that actually story might have taken place in Glasgow.
Sounds about right.
But he might have, had gone up to,
Because
Edinburgh's up here, Glasgow's down here.
Yeah, that one would actually, Baby Reindeer is actually pretty good. That's a good recommendation, especially somebody like you. You'd probably be like, oh, that's exactly what it's like, visually.
What was interesting visually, sort of, I kind of got inside a lot of it, was Luther.
Luther? Oh, the WB Lex Luthor?
No.
Oh.
Luther with Idris Elba, where he's a fucking London cop.
Oh, okay. I was like, WB Lex Luthor. I was like, what? That's terrible.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, check out Luther.
Okay.
Idris Elba. It's really well.
Now you got 2 recs, guys. If you hung in there long enough, you got 2 good recs. All right, we're out.
Yeah, wrap it.
Shlicketty Doo.
Galaxy Blue.